We are hearing Upadesamrita. Yesterday we started verse 11 and we read the commentary by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. 1 second, it is still opening. So we heard that the supramundane soul attaining the supramundane body of a gopi in supramundane braja, residing as a maintained maid servant of Radharani, that is Palyadasi, at Radhakunda in the grove or kunja of their guru, in her form as a Saki or Gopi, externally taking constant shelter of the name, constant shelter, and assisting Srimati Radhika in the service of Krishna throughout the 8 periods of the day, that Ashtakalya Lila, which we were hearing during Kartik, is the perfection of service for those who have taken shelter at the feet of Sri Chaitanya. Then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur's first song in Bengali, Srimati Radhika Krishna Kanta Shiromani, Krishna Priya Modhe Tar Sama Nahi Dhoni. Srimati Radhika is the crown jewel of Krishna's lovers. Amongst all who are dear to Krishna, there is no one as fortunate as her. Munigon Shastre Radha Kunder Barnane Gandharbika Tulya Kunda Koroye Gonone. In their descriptions of Radha Kunda in the scriptures, the sages have ascertained that Radha Kunda is equal to Sri Radha herself. Naradadi Priya Varge Je Prema Durlap Onyo Sadakere Taha Kobuna Sulap. Divine love that is very difficult to attain for Narad and others who are dear to the Lord is never easy to attain for other practitioners. Into Radha Kunde Snan Jai John Kore Madhur Rosete Tar Snane Siddhi Dhore. Those who bath in Radha Kunda, however, attain perfection in Madhur Ras. Aprakrita Bhave Sada Jugala Sebon Radha Pada Padma Lobe Sei Hori John. Such devotees attain the eternal supramundane service of the divine couple and the lotus feet of Sri Radha. Yesterday I explained that Manjaris, their focus is only Radharani. They are doing all kinds of service for her. And in relation to her, also Krishna is also there. But Manjaris never have any like direct contact with Krishna, but only serving Radharani. And both together, Radha and Krishna, but never any direct connection with Krishna. Everything is through Radha. Shri Barsha Bhanabi Kobe Deita Dasere Kunda tire snan dive nija jon kore. When will Shri Barshabana be, that is Radharani, allow Deita Das, that is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, to bath on the bank of her Kunda and accept him as one of her own. So you have to get the grace of Radharani to be able to bath there in Radhakunda, because Radhakunda is not different from Radharani, and accept him as one of her own, that maid servant Palyadasi. Of course, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is Nayan Muni Manjari. He is eternally made Palyadasi of Radharani, but here he is explaining as a sadhaka, doing pastimes of sadhana to be example for us. Upadesamrita bhasa korilo durjon pata kale horijon koriho shodon. A fallen soul has composed this explanation of the Upadesamrita. May the devotees correct it as they recite it. Extreme humbleness of a devotee in contact with unlimited Krishna and his personal associates. Upadesamrita dhari Rupanuga bhabe jibon japile Krishna kripa sei pabe. Souls who follow the Upadesamrita and spend their lives as followers of Sri Rupa will attain Krishna's mercy. Satya Treta Dvapare je Sakala Bhakta Krishna Kripa Lobhyache Grihasta Birakta Bhabi Kale Vartamane Bhakter Samach Sakaler Padaraja Jache Dino Ach. Today, this fallen soul prays for the food dust of all the devotees. All the devotees of the present, all devotees of the future, and all the devotees, both the householders and renunciants, who attained Krishna's mercy in the ages of Satya, Treta, and Dwapar. So you see, both Grihasta and renunciates, those who are unconditionally surrendered to Krishna, devotees. Akati binot Prabhu anuga je John, Deita daser tar pode nibedon, doya kori dosh horibol hori hori. 1 second, Deita daser tar pode nibedon. Doya kori dosh horibol hori hori. Yes. Upadesamrita bari shiro pori dhari. Deita Das prays at the feet of anyone who is a follower of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Please be kind, do away with all offenses, and chant the Lord's name, holding the water of the Upadesamrita atop your head. Request. Please chant Hari, Haribol, and that water of Upadesamrita you yes, do away with all offenses, that is dosh hari, all mistakes, everything you do away, hari, and chant hari hari, and keep the water of Upadesamrita on your head. This was the song. Now prose. The greatest recipient of Krishna's love and the crown jewel of his lovers is Srimati Radhika. In the scriptures, the sages have described her lake as supreme and comparable to Srimati herself. Those who once bathed in Radha Kunda develop divine love that is not easy to attain for even Narad and other dear devotees of the Lord, let alone for practitioners of devotion. Supra-mundane residence at the Radha Kunda, which is filled with divine love, and a supra-mundane bath in Radha Kunda, in which the nectar of divine love overflows, now he will explain what is the meaning of bathing in Radha Kunda. Because we may think, I can buy a ticket and then I take taxi and I can go to Radha Kunda. I put on my gamsha and I jump into Radha Kunda and swim and come out and I will be Manjari. I will have that Palyadasi bhav. Now he will explain what is the actual meaning of taking bath in Radha Kunda. Otherwise, if that would be like that, then why so many of those who took physical bath in Radha Kunda still have so many other desires and problems and everything? So now he will explain what is the meaning of taking bath there. So mean that souls become detached from the desire to enjoy matter. And while rendering service within the mind for the remainder of their life, means always, and in their afterlife, in earnest submission to Sri Radhika, directly engage in their eternal service, in their supramundane eternal body, those who thus bath in Radha Kunda attain the highest auspiciousness. So again, those who are detached from all desires to enjoy matter and who constantly in their siddha deho, their spiritual body, eternal, constantly, eternally have earnest submission to Sri Radhika and directly engage in their eternal service, in their supramundane eternal body, those who thus bath in Radha Kunda attain the highest auspiciousness. So it is not meant physical bath. It is meant spiritual purificatory bath. Give up all false egos of this world, sarvapadavi nirmuktam, and by that also all other desires are removed to enjoy matter, all kinds of pride, everything. And in your transcendental siddha deho or swarup or spiritual form, realized form, realized self, siddha deho, to constantly serve Radharani. That is taking bath in Radha Kunda. Their fortune is difficult to attain for even Narad and other devotees. What to speak of materialists? Bathing in Radha Kunda is difficult to attain for even devotees sheltered in Dasya, Sakya and Vatsalya Rasa. What more can I say about a supramundane bath in Radha Kunda? Those who perform such a bath even once attain the fortune of becoming a maintained maidservant of Sri Varshabhanavi. that is Radharani. Maintained Maidservant means Palyadasi. Like we also heard during Kartik, there are 7 principal effects of one chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Parang Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, then Chetodarpana Marjanam, all those effects. The last one is Sarvatma Snapanam. This Shri Krishna Sankirtan will bath Atma. Sarvatma Snapanam. All Atmas. Your all Atmas means body, mind, and Atma, soul, and as well as others also, because Kirtan is loud Kirtan, others are also benefited. So there also it is stated as Sarvatma Snapanam, means will bath, but we don't see any water anywhere. Then why it is written Snapanam? Means purified. It will purify your all gross body, subtle body, soul, and also all other Atmas. They will be purified, fully purified of all contamination of being averse to Krishna. Then everything will be pure. You will be reinstated in your pure spiritual form and pure function. Everything is pure, your natural position. So that kind of bathing, not physical bathing with water and soap and these things, or earth. It means the purification of soul. So bathing in Radha Kunda is also not meant physical bathing, to clean dust and some makeup or some dirt from your body. You will go to Radha Kunda, then you are purified. No, purified means purification of soul up to highest degree, to become a maidservant of Radharani, to accept the service of Radharani. That is bathing in Radha Kunda. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he never took physical bath. He never entered physically into Radha Kunda inside. Why? Because he saw this is Radharani. Directly he had that realization. We are only hearing and believing, maybe, but he directly saw this Radharani. How I can put my feet on Radharani or inside Radharani? How? So he only bowed down from outside, bowed down, full Dandavat Pranam, and took some water and put on his head as respect. So then someone will ask, but then why it is written you can take bath like this? The thing is, it is not prohibited to take bath in Radha Kunda. Prabhupada also allowed his disciples, though he did not go himself. What he wanted to show by this pastime is that you should take bath with extreme reverence, with honor, not thinking this is some kind of water and I will now take bath and enjoy swimming there, and I will put off the sweat on my body and some dust, and like this I'll take bath. That is all for these purposes. Or some, they take bath in Radhakund to become free from certain disease, or for some karma to be removed, or to get success. Karma kandis also, they go to Radhakund. So what Prabhupada wanted to show by this pastime, that this is not different from Radharani. So with extreme respect and with service attitude, you should approach, not with enjoying spirit. then you can take bath, but with caution, with this extreme respect and service attitude, because it is non-different from Radharani. If you commit offense, then you will not be benefited. Then further Prabhupada gives song as a conclusion in Bengali. Govinda bachane jani ihai gaurangabani aprakata kale sarkotha Nila chale sindhu tire Shri Gauranga dhire dhire bolilo shunilo bhakta tatha. I recognize in the words of Shri Govinda Dev Kavi, here it is explained who is. Shri Govinda Dev Kavi was a Vaishnava poet from Orissa and descendant of Srila Bakreshwar Pandit. You know, he's a personal associate of Mahaprabhu, Bakreshwar Pandit. He was dancing 72 hours continuously. So this Govinda Dev Kavi was his descendant. He wrote a Sanskrit book about Sriman Mahaprabhu in 1758, named Shri Shri Gaur Krishna Doy. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur published this text in 1912. That is before taking sannyas, before Gauriya Mat. This was when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was still living, Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj still living, in 1912. That time his name was Bimala Prasad. In the final chapter of the book, entitled Swadham Bijoy, or Departure for his abode, Sriman Mahaprabhu is said to have gathered with devotees from various regions on the bank of the ocean in Nilachal and spoke, that is Jagannath Puri, and spoke to them 5 verses of final instruction, 4 of which are found in Sri Upadesamrita. So like Shikastaka, he spoke at the end. This is also just prior to his disappearance, when giving that Antim Vani, last message, that is always very concise. Like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he gave his last message. Our Parangurudev also gave his last message. That is very concise what they want to say, what was the purpose of their preaching or their life in this world, they say, and how devotees should practice. So both Shikastaka and Upadesamrita are very important. Both are coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu directly spoke 5 verses, which are, here it is written, from 5 to 8. 5th verse is how Madhyamadikari should respect devotees. He will have affection for Kanishta, then mentally he will offer respect, and physically dandavat everything to Madhyam, but he will serve Uttam fully. And Uttam is the one who is totally free from any criticism of anyone, because he sees Krishna inside everyone. All are serving Krishna directly or indirectly. So he cannot criticize anyone, he cannot correct anyone, he cannot preach to anyone. Only if Krishna orders, they will do the pastime of Madhyamadikar to preach, otherwise not. This is 5th verse. Directly Mahaprabhu spoke. Then 6th verse is, we heard that one should not see Vaishnava, realized Vaishnava, pure devotee, to see some mundane defects in his body and thinking that this Vaishnava is contaminated. There is some defect in him. No. Because the Vaishnava, whatever he's doing for the satisfaction of Krishna. So there is no any defect in him. He is doing eternal welfare to himself, and also he is doing beneficial work for everyone else. So where can you find any mistake in him or any fault? No fault. But from mundane platform, we may see he's ugly, he's having disease, or he's making mistake in English grammar. So then we think contaminated. So some faults there, mistakes there. That is wrong. We should see his status as a pure devotee. Like Ganga, though we see some impurities, but if you take bath in Ganga, you will be purified. Like that, whatever Vaishnava does is transcendental, eternal benefit to all. So you should not see any mistakes in him. Even if according to mundane calculation there may be, like he's saying wrong English word. But that is not a mistake in his bhajan. And 7th verses we heard, we are unable to taste the sweetness of Krishna's name, pastimes, form, as long as we have the jaundice of ignorance. But if someone will, with faith, regularly chant and hear about Krishna's name, form, attributes, it will act like a medicine. And the more that medicine will remove the disease of ignorance, the more we can taste the actual sweetness of Krishna's name. So in a regulated manner, we have to take the medicine. That is Vaidhi Bhakti. There is no ruchi. Then in the 8th verse, those who have attained ruchi, by clearing their disease of jaundice, they are having ruchi and spontaneous liking to serve Krishna, they should spend their whole time in kirtan and smaran of Krishna's name, form, attributes, and stay always in Vrindavan, either physically in Dham or in their heart mentally. Vrindavan Dham means where Krishna is the only enjoyer. All other are enjoyed by him, all are servants of him. So that is the point of Vrindavan. So always staying in Vrindavan. There is no other ulterior motive anymore. Always staying in Vrindavan and serving Krishna or Radha Krishna or Radharani according to one's rasa, following that Brajavasi whom they feel attraction, that I want to serve like him. So we heard those who want in Shantarasa, they will serve under cows, flute, trees. Those who are dasas will serve under Raktaka, Patraka, Chitraka, and then Sakas under Baladev, Shridam, Sudam, Subal. In Vatsalya, Nanda Maharaj, Jashoda, and other elderly who have fatherly and motherly affection, and in Madhurya Rasa to follow Lalita, Bishaka, Soki, Gopi, or Manjari. This is the essence of all instruction. Mahaprabhu told this verse directly. This is the essence of all my instruction. You have to attain this. Braja Prem. And the first 3 verses and the last 4 verses were given by, first 4 verses were added by Rupa Goswami. Of course, by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he was present at that time. So that is important to follow so that you can reach to where Mahaprabhu wants us to reach. So we have to give up those 6 urges, give up those 6 faults: overeating, over-collecting, mundane endeavors, prajalpa, all this. Then we have to practice with 6 qualities: enthusiasm, patience, faith. Then 4th verse is to associate with sadhus properly by giving, receiving gifts, food, prasad, and openly speaking to them and hearing from them. Then last 9th, 10th and 11th verse also added by Rupa Goswami. They are all about attaining the service of Radharani. Mahaprabhu said that Brajaja Anugami in 8th verse, you have to follow Brajabasi. But Rupa Goswami in last, that 9th, 10th and 11th verse, he gave specific instruction to serve Radharani, to take her shelter. Because in 9th verse it is shown that among all places, Radha Kunda is highest. So who will not serve that Radha Kunda? And in 10th verse, again, that of all devotees, Radharani is highest. And her Kunda is not different from her. So who will not serve Radharani or Radha Kunda? And in this last verse, also 11, he's telling, no one can get that prem. But if someone, in Shastra it is written, and all saints they are saying, it is fact, Radharani is highest, most dear to Krishna, and her Kunda is not different from her, it is highest. So who can get that? No one can get, very difficult. But if one will take bath in Radha Kunda, then he will get that devotion to Radharani. And in what way taking bath? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained, Nishkapate, sincerely taking bath, that is with service attitude. And Prabhupada also revealed, means you have to accept that eternal service of Radharani, giving up all other desires and accept Palyadasi Bhav to Radharani by the grace of Radharani and her extensions, the Sakis, Manjaris. We can attain that seva. So Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur came to give us this. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Prabhupada, both Kamala Manjari and Nayan Muni Manjari, they came to give, and they gave process how we can attain that. Then further Prabhupada is telling, Gaur Mukha Upadesh Sarva Amritero Shesh Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhu Bor Karna Dwara Pan Kori Lekhanite Taha Dhori Kali Jibe Dilo Bhor Khor. Yes. These instructions from the mouth of Sri Gaura are the essence of all nectar. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu drank this nectar with his ears, wrote it down with his pen, gave it to the souls of the age of Kali, and relieved them of the burden upon them. Burden, jiva always burden of these other desires, karma, false ego, all this. But if someone will accept this Upadesamrita, then he can be relieved of all that burden. Shri Radharaman Das, Shri Radharaman Pash, Rohi ei shlok ekadash, Korilo sam krito tika nam tar prakashiko, Akinchan paye jate ras. Shri Radharaman Das living by the side of Sri Radharaman, the deity in Vrindavan of Gopal Goswami, wrote a Sanskrit commentary on these 11 verses called the Upadesmrita Tika, in which the surrendered souls taste rasa. In Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj's edition of Sri Upadesamrita with commentaries, you can find his commentary also, Sri Radharaman Das, of Radharaman temple in Vrindavan. Vistaria nijo shakti kole raja prema bhakti acha dilo jai manda khone doyal gaurango horijip dukho mone smori pata ilo ek nijo jone. At the inauspicious time when King Kali spread his influence and hid loving devotion, merciful Lord Gaurango remembered within his heart the suffering of the souls and then sent one of his associates, Kali Maharaj. Means all those sinful activities that covered prema bhakti, intoxication, meat eating, and so many other things. But Mahaprabhu felt the suffering of the jivas of this world in his heart, and he sent one, his personal associate. This is our fortune. Vakati binot bor piyusha barshini kor Upadesamrita jar murti Upadesamrita ratne sangraha korya jatne jibe korailo Krishna spurti. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the author of the Piyusha Varshini Vritti commentary and embodiment of the Upadesamrita. Yes, Upadesamrita Jar Murti means this personal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sent by him is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who wrote commentary that is advice, but the point is he was example, he was embodiment of Upadesamrita. His whole life was his life was Upadesamrita. Example is better than precept. He was following all this, what is written here, following. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur carefully collected the jewels within the Upadesamrita and then induced souls to realize Krishna. Kali hoto jivgon Upadesamrita dhon, chari koilo nabin bidhan, sorry. Node nagarir moto arba kohibo koto, Krishna teji mayar sandhan. The souls ruined by Kali rejected the wealth of the Upadesamrita and made up new methods, such as the conjecture of the Gaur Nagaris in Nadia. How many more shall I name? Rejecting Krishna, they have delved into illusion. You know, Gaurango Nagari, the one Upadesamrita of 13 at that time. Now there are more. Aul, Baul, Karta, Bhajan, Nera, Darvesh, Sai, Sahajiya, Sakhi, Beki, Churadhari, Karta, Bhaja, that at the end, Jat Gosai, Caste Goswamis, Jat Gosai, at the end is Gaurango Nagari, Tota Kohe Ei Tera Sanga Nahi Kori. There was one Tota Ramdas Babaji Maharaj, pure devotee and scholarly. He wrote this. The 13 Upadesamrita, they are preaching, they are saying we are preaching Mahaprabhu's teaching, but are doing immoral activities in the name of Mahaprabhu, so you should not associate with them, means you should not follow their way. And also another time, he saved, because that deity of Vishnupriya, Gauranga Mahaprabhu's deity, Dameshwar Mahaprabhu, once there was some problem there in Bengal, some famine was there, famine, no food, these things. So some smarta Brahmins, they told to the king of Krishnanagar that this famine is because a man is worshipped as God there in Navadip. This is the offense. So that is why this is happening. The Mahaprabhu is man, but they are saying he is God and they are worshipping as God. That is wrong. So that is why our karma is like this, that there is no food. So though that deity, when they heard this, they became afraid, and that king will come and will arrest or disturb deity. So they put that deity down in one basement hiddenly, and they would offer some little sweets every day, but no one knew, because they were afraid maybe king will come and will do something. So, but then devotees, they requested Totaram Das Babaji Maharaj. That time he was in Vrindavan, he came, and there was assembly with all those smarta Brahmins, and he proved from Shastra that Mahaprabhu is actually God. He proved. Then they were defeated. Then again that deity they brought up and continued to worship openly. So Totaram Das Babaji Maharaj, great saint. So he told these Gaura Nagaris that is wrong. Rejecting Krishna, they have delved into illusion. Means rejecting the service of Krishna, they became Mayadas. Heno samoye koli mayavat astre choli Krishna bhakti achadan koilo. Jivere durbol pe micha bhakti chachaloye bhav sagarete dubailo. At this time, Kali fired the weapon of illusionism, that is Mayavat, and hit devotion to Krishna. Getting souls weak, he brought a mold of false devotion and submerged souls in the ocean of material existence. So there is also false devotion, outwardly looking like devotion, but inside it is to cheat people, to get money or name and fame, or mentally imitating I am this Manjari, or sometimes even I am Lalita or Radharani, like this, mentally thinking, but dressing as a gopi, physically male, dressing as a gopi. So that is false devotion. It is not spiritual devotion, actual service of Krishna. Once it happened, there was one in Navadip, this Saki Beki. He was dressed as a gopi, and he had long hair and braid, and he went up to this extent in imitating a woman that once in a month he was observing that isolation for woman menstrual period, like 3-4 days he was in isolation. So up to this extent imitation. Is a male person dressed in gopi and sari and this, and doing this menstrual period for 4 days. So, what to do? Calling Maharaj. Vipralamba Murtiman Shri Gaurango Bhagavan Sambhoger Pushtiro Lagia Pracharilo Nijo Tattva Prakashya Shuddha Sattva Bajo Krishna Mayakacharya. The embodiment of separation, Lord Shri Gaurango, embodiment of separation from Krishna, Radharani in the mood of, means Krishna in the mood of Radharani, feeling separation from Krishna. That is why embodiment of separation, Lord Shri Gaurango, to enhance the experience of union, manifested pure goodness and broadcast the truth about himself, saying, serve Krishna and leave illusion behind. Ayavat Upadesh Gaurango Daser Besh Grohon Korya Kolirach Krishna Bhakti Charaya Sambhoger Das Hoya Dekhailo Chaya Prema Sach. King Koli then accepted the dress of a servant of Gaurango and taught illusionism, means Mayavat, in the name of, like, I am servant of Gaurango. Yes, we have to do this Krishna bhajan to ultimately merge into that Jyoti. Or they will say, you see, Gauranga Mahaprabhu is worshipping Krishna and he also became Krishna. He is Krishna. So like that, we jivas also, we ultimately will become God. So that also they used Mahaprabhu's example. He really is Krishna, but this thought that by this process we will also become Krishna, we will become God. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu made, Kali Maharaj, he made souls reject devotion to Krishna and become servants of union, that is sexual enjoyment. Sambhog means here. He showed them the shadow of divine love's garb, Chaya Prema, like I am Radharani, you are Krishna, and then sexual enjoyment, and we are practicing Parakya Rasa. So this also was happening and is happening in the name of Mahaprabhu, that is Prakrita Sahajiyas, that is their philosophy. Radha Krishna, their archetype, ancient archetype of man and woman, so we have to imitate their pastimes, and that is spiritual practice. And they're having sexual relations, parakya ras, with married women like this, in the name of Mahaprabhu's teaching. Kokono baul brata, kokono nagari mata. Kokono baul brata, kokono nagari moto. Nera sahajya karta bhaja, prakrita sambhog kotha, prachara yatha tatha, nagarir gaur bhakti dvaja. Sometimes he propagated the practices of the Bauls, means Kali Maharaj, and sometimes the conceptions of Gaura Nagaris, Neras, Sahajias, and Kartabhajas. He propagated the idea of material union, that is sexual enjoyment, everywhere, which is the hallmark of the Gauranga Nagaris, devotion to Gaura. So, Bauls, they practice this also. Deho sadhana. With body, you do sadhana, and when you, because male is Krishna and female are sadhikas, like also practitioners, so it is a fact. I know one person he told me that when he came to take sannyas, means that you will fully engage yourself in that practice, you give up everything and you fully engage in that. For taking sannyas, you have to bring sadhika with you, means one lady, girlfriend, because with her you will have to practice that sadhana. So it is requirement. Otherwise you cannot take sannyas. You have to bring girl there. Like in some, there in Shastra it is written, you have to approach Guru by bringing firewood for yagya and other articles for Guru when you will surrender to him. So like here, when you are taking sannyas in Baul, then you have to bring girl, because you will have to practice with her. Both will get instructions. And Gauranagaris, they are thinking, Gauranga is Krishna, which is correct, but they think Gaura as Krishna is enjoying girls of this world, but it never happened. Mahaprabhu was always in the mood of Radharani as a devotee. He was never enjoying girls. He was married, Vedic marriage, and then he was sannyasi. But they are thinking that we as girls, we can enjoy Gauranga because he's very beautiful and tall. That is Gauranagaris. Neras, I don't remember now. Sahajias are of different types. Karta Bhajas. He propagated the idea of material union everywhere, that is Kali Maharaj, which is the hallmark of the Gauranga Nagaris, devotion to Gaura. So tomorrow we will hear about the disappearance of Jagat Bandhu Bhaktiranjan Prabhu. If there will be any time, we can continue this, otherwise later on.